Hey, Roger Parent here, aka Chief Marketing Dad. So we're trying to figure out how to break through a business plateau. So I find that businesses will plateau for one of 7 reasons. And I'll go through each and just tell you a quick idea for a solution on each. The first is that they're tapped out in one marketing channel. So I see a lot of businesses that will come to me and say, we crush it on Google Ads, or we crush it on TikTok, but we don't really have anywhere else, and we're fully reliant on that one channel. If that's the case, I typically will see that as a brand issue. Like you seem to hit something, maybe mid or lower funnel that worked well in Google Ads, for example, but you're not really growing your brand and making it worth following on all of your other channels. So the solution to that is like we really have to diversify and work on your actual brand direction. Second one is marketing inefficiencies. I see a lot of brands, most brands, when I first get my hands on like all of the accounts and where they're allocating all their dollars, there's a lot of like very bad spend issues across all the marketing channels. Sometimes they're spending a lot of money on branded ads and Google ads and with no competition, and their SEO ranking is number 1 there, and we can just cut that spend and reallocate it into prospecting or non-branded and acquire new customers. And so I just see that a lot of times people will choose the highest ROAS spend, which isn't always the best profit driver in terms of actual business revenue, because sometimes that lower funnel spend would have converted anyway. That customer would have come to the website and bought anyway, even without that spend. So those are the types of things that we want to test. Is I see a lot of marketing inefficiencies about where to allocate dollars. Third is operational limitations. It's a good problem to have, but a lot of times you'll see companies that come in and say, oh, like we just like operationally, it's too expensive to ship everything. We can't seem to like get enough inventory in on time, and a lot of operational issues that can weigh down the ability for marketing to scale. In that situation, I'll typically intro like a fractional COO who can come in and audit all that and get all those costs under control, get the right apparatus in place to be able to scale with marketing. That's one of the first questions I ask when I talk to a new client is, if we were to double your business tomorrow, would you be able to handle it, right? Because the worst part of being a marketer is sometimes if you grow a company and they just can't handle the business, what a bummer, right? So we see operational limitations very often. Fourth is market saturation. Sometimes you'll see that a company sells a really niche product and they've just really saturated the market. If people are searching for that product or they need something like that, they are already thinking of this company. At that point, you really need to create a brand worth following beyond just the product, but you'll still ebb and flow with the demand that exists out in the market. So at that point, you really need to create demand. So that's where we really move upper funnel and you start running things like TV, upper funnel YouTube to educate a new audience to add to the existing audience. And alongside that, it kind of dovetails right into number 5, which is lack of innovation. So if you are finding that you have market saturation or you're just generally hitting a plateau, sometimes you just haven't innovated enough. Other people are maybe beating you out, or you just don't have a great product, right? So we need to maybe innovate the product or just in general innovate the way we do things. So a lack of innovation is number 5. Number 6 is competition, which goes along with lack of innovation if competition is sort of boxing you out. Or maybe you were first to market and you really exploded, but you haven't done much to defend yourself from that position. And so competition starts entering the stage late, but they have big funding dollars behind them. You're seeing a lot with AI companies right now. The ones who were first to market are not the ones that are really making it because they're just consistently boxing each other out with new competition coming in and taking over. And then the last one is number 7 is economic factors. Sometimes, look, not everything can be within our control. Sometimes when COVID hit and the e-commerce boom happened, great. Every marketer on the planet looked wonderful, or every marketer of an e-commerce brand anyway. We all looked like we were the best marketers ever. But really, demand just doubled when people weren't buying in retail, right? And the same thing happened post-COVID when you kind of saw people go back to retail and things like that. Marketers sort of get blamed, and it's like, well, the demand's down 30%, you know? So if you're down 10%, that's great compared to what's happening in the industry, right? So I think a lot of times it's just with economic factors, it's just understanding what sort of is truth, and then using one of these other 6 methods to kind of innovate the brand or break through the plateau in other ways to account for or overcome those economic factors. So if you're hitting a growth plateau and you don't know why, reach out. I'll see if I can point you in the right direction. Otherwise, I hope this helps.